Hi, my friends. Today I want to present you a new story. Enjoy watching it.
I woke up to silence, a deep, hollow kind of quiet that didn't feel natural. My body was heavy, weighed down by something invisible, and my head felt like it had been split open and sewn back together by shaking hands. My eyelids fluttered, resisting me at first, but then I forced them open, revealing the dim hospital room bathed in a sterile, artificial glow. Confusion swirled in my mind. I had been somewhere else, lost in a vast darkness that felt like years. Now I was here. My throat burned as I tried to swallow, and my fingers twitched on instinct, except they didn't. Neither did my arms or my legs. Panic surged through me, my breath coming in short, ragged gasps. I tried to speak, to call for someone, but only a faint, rasping noise escaped my lips. Then voices, muffled at first, coming from just outside the door. "I've told you, Dr. Whitman, she's shown no signs of waking. You're overreacting," a woman's voice said, a voice I knew. My sister Eleanor. My mind reeled. Why was she here? And why did she sound irritated rather than concerned? "She's been stable for months, but brain activity has increased," the doctor replied. "We can't rule out the possibility of her regaining consciousness." A pause. Then Eleanor's voice dropped lower. "And if she does? What then?" I strained to listen, my heart hammering. "Then she'll need therapy, of course. We'll reassess her condition," Dr. Whitman said, his tone cautious. Eleanor exhaled sharply. "Right. Well, in the meantime, I have things to take care of. Let me know if anything changes." It was then I heard voices. "She's never going to wake up, David. Stop pretending she will." "Eleanor, we can't just..." My husband David hesitated. "My husband. We can and we will. The doctors say she's brain dead, so what does it matter? The house is mine now, the money is mine, and you? Well, you were always mine first." David didn't argue. He didn't fight for me. A sickening silence followed, broken only by the sound of lips meeting. Betrayal. A tear slid down my motionless cheek. I had been in a coma for 2.5 years, and in that time, Eleanor had stolen everything, my husband, my home, my life. The days blurred together. Nurses came and went. Eleanor visited, playing the role of a grieving sister, but when she thought no one was listening, I heard her whispered phone calls. "No one will ever find it," she said one night. "It's all in the attic. The documents, the accounts, everything. And if anyone starts asking questions, I'll handle it. Just like I handled Sadie. A secret. In the attic." She had done more than steal from me. She had committed crimes. And now I knew. Caregiver Karen stepped into the hospital room quietly, her eyes flickering toward the bed where I lay. She hesitated for a moment, then moved closer, her voice barely above a whisper. "Sadie, if you can understand me, squeeze my hand." I summoned every ounce of strength and managed the slightest pressure. Karen gasped, her fingers tightening around mine. "Oh my God," she breathed. "You're awake. You're aware." Tears welled in my eyes, but I couldn't move, couldn't speak. My body was still a prison. Karen fumbled in her pocket, pulling out a small notepad and a marker. "Blink twice if you can follow what I'm saying." I blinked twice. Relief flooded her face. "Okay. Let's try this. I'll hold the marker, and you guide me to write." It was painstaking. But after a few minutes, I had managed to direct her hand to form a shaky sentence. "Help me. Eleanor stole my life." Karen's face paled as she read the words. She looked at me, horror dawning in her eyes. "Eleanor? Your twin? What do you mean?" I blinked twice. I needed her to listen, really listen. My eyes darted toward the door. Anyone could walk in. Eleanor could walk in. Karen understood and leaned in. "Tell me everything." Using slow, deliberate movements, we painstakingly pieced together the truth. Eleanor had taken my place, my husband, my home, my identity. But the final blow came when I directed Karen to write the word attic. Karen frowned. "Attic? What's in the attic?" "Secrets. Evidence." I had overheard Eleanor's phone call. She had mentioned hiding something up there. Something that could destroy her. Karen inhaled sharply. "We need help. We need proof." She stood, pacing for a moment before pulling out her phone. "I know someone," she said. "Detective Jeremiah Hardman. He used to investigate financial crimes before switching to major fraud cases. If Eleanor is involved in something bigger, he'll find out. She hesitated, watching me. Do you trust me? I blinked twice. Yes. Karen nodded and stepped outside, her voice low as she made the call. I closed my eyes, my mind racing. If Eleanor had hidden something in the attic, it could be my only chance to expose her, but I had no idea what she had done. Only that it was bad enough for her to risk everything to keep it buried. Karen returned minutes later, her face set. He's in. He'll start looking into Eleanor right away. And she swallowed. He wants to check out the attic. Tonight. A chill ran through me. I had no choice but to wait, and hope that for once, time was on my side. Detective Jeremiah Hardman stood in the dimly lit attic, his flashlight cutting through the dust-filled air. Karen had led him here, following Sadie's desperate written plea. Boxes were stacked haphazardly, old trunks covered in cobwebs, but it was the locked chest in the corner that caught his eye. This has to be it, Jeremiah muttered, kneeling. With practiced precision, he picked the lock. The lid creaked open, revealing stacks of financial records, forged signatures, proof that Eleanor had drained Sadie's accounts. At the bottom, a folder marked ACSID&T held crime scene photos and a mechanic's report. Brake hoses, severed. A sudden creak of the attic stairs. Jeremiah turned sharply. Eleanor stood there, her face frozen in shock. What the hell do you think you're doing? She hissed. Finding the truth, Jeremiah replied calmly, his hidden camera still recording. You planned it, didn't you? Eleanor scoffed, then smirked. So what if I did? No one will believe your little discovery. Sadie's as good as dead. Click. The camera light blinked. Eleanor's expression shifted from arrogance to panic. Jeremiah tucked the evidence into his coat. Not anymore. Eleanor's hands clenched into fists. You have no proof. Oh, but I do. Jeremiah interrupted, stepping closer. Bank statements, fraudulent documents, and now your confession. Eleanor's face drained of color. She lunged forward, attempting to snatch the camera, but Jeremiah dodged effortlessly. He grabbed her wrist and twisted it behind her back, forcing her down against an old wooden crate. You're done, Eleanor, he said, voice cold. You stole her life, but now the world will know exactly who you are. From the hospital bed, Sadie waited, and when the video was uploaded all over social media, the world watched the truth unravel. The moment the video went live, the internet erupted. Within minutes, Eleanor's confession spread like wildfire. News outlets picked it up. Social media exploded with outrage, and people who once knew Sadie started questioning everything. Comments flooded in. She stole her own sister's life. This woman is a monster. Arrest her now. Eleanor had no idea. She sat in the grand living room, the same one she had stolen, sipping wine, oblivious to the storm outside. But when her phone buzzed with notification after notification, she frowned. Then she saw it. The video. The evidence. Her own voice admitting to the crime. Her glass slipped from her fingers, shattering on the floor. No, 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 no. She gasped, hands trembling. She dialed a number frantically. Martin, listen to me. We have a problem. That detective. A sharp knock at the door. Then another, more forceful this time. Eleanor's breath caught. She peeked through the window. Red and blue flashing lights reflected off the glass. Police. The front door burst open. Eleanor Fitzgerald, you're under arrest for attempted murder, fraud, and identity theft. No. This is a mistake. Eleanor shrieked as officers grabbed her. She twisted, fought, but they were too strong. From her hospital bed, Sadie watched it all unfold on the news. Karen sat beside her, squeezing her hand. She's done, Karen whispered. Sadie exhaled, tears burning her eyes. It's over. Eleanor was sentenced to 15 years in prison. Her tear-streaked letters arrived weekly, filled with apologies, desperate pleas for forgiveness. Sadie never opened them. They sat in a drawer, unopened, gathering dust, just like the memories of her stolen years. 3 months passed, and with relentless therapy, Sadie stood on her own 2 feet again. The hospital bed was gone. The sterile walls replaced by warm sunlight streaming through her home reclaimed from the ghost of her sister's deception. The silence no longer felt oppressive. It was peaceful. She had won. One afternoon, Karen visited, bringing coffee. So what's next for you? She asked. Sadie looked outside. A group of volunteers unloaded supplies from a van. She had poured herself into charity work, helping victims of fraud, cruel, and those who, like her, had been robbed of their lives. I want to help people, real people, who've lost everything and had to fight to get it back, Sadie said, gripping the warm mug. Karen nodded, a proud smile forming. You turned all this pain into something good. Sadie exhaled slowly, the weight of her past finally lifting. She had been broken, betrayed, and left for dead, but she rebuilt herself. Eleanor had stolen her identity, but she never understood what truly made Sadie who she was, her resilience, her strength.
Friends, what do you think of this story? Write your opinion in the comments. Would you like more stories? Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so you don't miss any videos. See you tomorrow.